let's try to check what we saw from the tabular form of data which I was talking about, like the variable and its type. So these are the 8 data types that comes under the category called primitive, meaning these directly refers to the type that we are using here. So we have number type which will support max 127 and minus 128. So let's check whether it supports 127, and then you try to put system out.println. When you try to print it, you will say this is a directly I'm referring using byte type. Now, if I wanted to use 128, so I'm going to get possibly lossy conversion from int to byte. So your compiler is asking you if you can convert it to the integer, which means you can use number int or you can even use short byte. So let's say I am removing that 8 from there. Oh, for the beginners, I would say you should try to come up with multiple errors while you're trying to execute. So, and when you try to troubleshoot them, you will understand things much better. So instead of using a byte, you can use short to handle a slightly bigger number than that. And suppose if you wanted to handle more than this, your number is not going to allow. So in that case, you can go for int. And here, I think the maximum number it was supporting is 32 something. So let's say I put num short, okay, and let's print this thing here. And what do I have? And I have number int, and I have long number, and I have number double, number long. Hold on. We haven't assigned any values to this. Let me assign that as well. Float, flag, and you have the last one, which is letter. So for the number, what do we have for the number is, let's say you have 99999999999. It's too big, too big, too big, and you put a L. So how the long number your compiler will know that it is a long number, you will have to add L to it. And let's say if we can print this thing. Okay, so you have problem with the double. So your double would help you to keep until 6 or 7 decimals. 6 to 7, right? So 556.0000001. And you have float. So when it comes to float, how the compiler will know it is float, and how the compiler will differentiate numbers between int and long is, in long you will use this literal L, and in the float you will use literal F. Let's put 5.6666661F. So float would support for only 6. So this is This is double. So float is not going to support your large number, whereas double would. And let's say you have flag, and say flag is going to be 0 means going to be false. And you have char, you have yeah. Since it is char, use single quote. And let's print these things and see. What you will see is your byte type is holding 8-bit, and you have slightly bigger size variable which is short, and that is going to be your short type, and this is going to be your integer. And between integer and long, how the compiler will differentiate the larger numbers, right? If you will have similar number in long, you will have to end it with L so that your compiler knows it is of long type. Else else it's still not going to be a problem, because your integer is narrower than long. It will still accommodate the value which is of size int. But as a programmer, how you will identify the value that you pass between this and this, and if they hold the same value, add an L. And for float, your float, you will have to end it with F. And let's try to remove this L and check what is happening, and let's run. So integer, right? When you put this value like this, the compiler is not able to identify between the integer. So it is advisable to put L. And for float, you put F, and for W, there is nothing to be added in the double. And but for float, you will have to put F, so that again, if you remove the F, your compiler gets confused with double. Yeah, so it says lossy conversion from double to float. So you better put F, and then you have double, and then you have flag false, which is going to be, let's execute and see what the flag is going to print. It should be false, which is a boolean type. Boolean type means it will take true or false. And you have char and letter A, which is going to be a letter. And what is so here for the letter A, if you use 100, you would print a D. So in the char, it will also support ASCII. ASCII 100 is small size D. So that is the basic that one should be knowing when they are trying to use a primitive data type. I think there is also another explanation on this topic uh, between what is narrow conversion and also what is broadening, how you can use broader scope. The general thumb rule is you can always broaden your broadened data type can always handle narrow data type. For example, your short can handle your byte, but your byte cannot be handling short. So at that point, you will have to use casting, which would be a different topic. But for the basic understanding, try to use simple data type and try to understand this topic. And the next part of this video is going to be about reference type.